We've got a small handful of news as the week ends up. We kind of coast out. It's been a quieter week in comics. Thankfully, a week with less scandals, less nonsense. We actually have some news about comics to kind of go over, and let's take a look at that. Hey everybody, this is Perch. I'm getting some feedback and it's weirdly split, where some people like the intro that I just did, for example, before the little music and other things. I'm going to change the music and update it. It's been a while. And some people don't. They just want a cold opening. So leave a comment below of like how you'd like to see this stuff go. I'm ambiguous. I don't care, I guess is the way to put it. I'm agnostic to it. So whatever you guys like best is what I'll do. So love some comments. Anyway, a couple pieces of news. So first off, we kind of suspected this was the case, but we have an end date for Joker War, and that's October. So in October, this storyline wraps up. Honestly, with the size and the scope and kind of the lead up, and part of this is because of the COVID and the pause. It feels longer than it has, but it feels like the actual event of the Joker War is happening. It seems like it's over very quickly. I mean, October, we're in July, so August, September, October, 3 months. I don't know. It feels like the lead up has been a longer time than all this, but what do I know? So that is happening in October, and we've gotten word that kind of right off the bat, James Tynion is continues to do a lot of some various pieces and some work, but we're getting Grifter from the Wildcats team from Wildstorm in Batman number 101, and this is hey, this is cool, and he apparently is going to be working with Lucius Fox and with Batman, so that's an interesting pair up. Kind of Grifter as a new Robin, not really, but it's an interesting one. So Grifter appearing in Batman, pretty cool. Pete Tomasi and James Tynion IV doing some pretty impressive stuff over there in Batman. So that's definitely pretty cool where that is all going. Over in Marvel World, this is again the hype train. Nobody really takes this stuff serious anymore, but Marvel is promising that Earth will be a dramatically different place after Empyre. And Empyre is this Avengers Fantastic Four crossover, taking on the Kree and Skrull and Quadi kind of war and battle, and that they're really pushing cosmic, and Al Ewing, Dan Slott doing the standard. And please, nobody come in and say why you're picking on Al Ewing here. This has nothing to do with Al Ewing. This is Marvel in every single event. It is, the Earth will never be the same again. So the Earth will never be the same again. Things have changed. They're going to have more space-oriented titles. I'll just say again, and this has nothing to do with Al Ewing or Dan Slott or any one particular person. I'm completely exhausted at the idea of more titles. Like, I don't want space-oriented titles. I don't want I want the core titles to work. Please don't promise after this event we're going to have a bunch of spin-offs. A number of Marvel titles, kind of as a related story, that went digital only are now going to be going to print after all. They say by popular demand. I have my doubts about that, but okay. But apparently Marvel determined that printing some of these things, I think they got some feedback from some retailers who are pretty ticked that some of these titles are going digital only, so they've acquiesced and are going to print them. But I mean, things like Valkyrie and Loki spun out of War of the Realms, and there are going to be more, and and those titles are DOA for all intents and purposes. So the idea of saying, hey, we're going to have a big event, nothing's going to be the same again, and we're going to have some space related new books, no, please. Please, no. Just make what you have work. Please make what you have work. And as I've done other videos on this, I on one hand, I'm a big science fiction fan. I would love to see good cosmic cool titles. I was a big fan of the DNA Guardians of the Galaxy and some of the other things they've done over the years. I think that Donny Cates has played with Cosmic, with Thanos, and some of these other things. I think Al Ewing's Ultimates, I like that book, and that had obviously more of a cosmic bend to it. But generally speaking, Marvel doesn't have the best track record when it comes to space and cosmic. So hopefully they have a better a better plan this time. One thing that definitely is a better plan is that Marvel is signed this new relationship with Scholastic, and basically. This is Marvel desperately wants that YA audience, that kid audience. But in many cases, their strategy has been to take YA authors, put them on Marvel books, and sell them through direct market, which is a failure because the audience that they want doesn't even really know the direct market exists, and there's been no plan to get them there. One thing if Marvel put some marketing dollars to younger audiences, really pushing them to go to comic shops and kind of encouraging them to get there, and maybe doing some comics that kind of lead there, but they don't do that. So they miss the audience they're going for, and then they wonder why it's not working. Well, teaming up with Scholastic obviously dominates this world. It's what Dav Pilkey and Raina Telgemeier have exploited. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, they've optimized, they've taken advantage of. I mean, again, they've owned this market and really kind of defined. You take the two of them, Pilkey with Dogman and Rain Telgemeier with her books Guts and some of those, and the sales that the two of them combined just blow all these other publishers away. I think you need to do math. So I may be giving out some incorrect information there, but I'm relatively certain that with the full dollar amount of those two and maybe a handful of others, it's far exceeds what Marvel produces in the industry. It definitely, they school it. So the money is there, but you got to go to the right place to get that money. So going to Scholastic is that Marvel will be starting with 3 original graphic novels: Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, and Shuri. Miles Morales, I think, is a complete no-brainer. You've got a movie out there and a lot of attachment with kids. It makes entire sense. The writer, Justin Reynolds, again, that's a good pick. Justin Reynolds has a track record of this audience and writing for it appropriately and kind of knowing kind of what they're doing with it. So I think this is a good plan. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is a little bit more of a, we'll see if that catches. That one is, nothing against Kamala Khan again, but writer Nadia Shamas doesn't have the same track record. And the Shuri writer, Roseanne Brown, we don't have artists for those. We'll see about those. I think Shuri is a long shot. And now, again, you can make these things work, but as an entry into the stores, I think that, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, some of these others that the kids have seen in movies was probably a better pick. That's why Miles Morales is such a good pick. I think Miss Marvel is kind of banking on this belief that character is a lot more popular than she is. And again, I'm not saying she's bad. I mean, there's definitely Miss Marvel fans who listen to my channel and everything else. It's good. It's just one of the ways that things tip over is if you go too fast too soon. And you just need to be cautious that you don't lead with something that isn't a big seller, and then it sours people on the whole idea, and then you kind of back off before you're ever able to really make success. So I think there's, Miles Morales will definitely work. Kamala Khan hopefully will work. Shuri is going to need some help in terms of how you market and really push that out. Obviously, she was part of Black Panther, but still kind of a bit part of Black Panther. It wasn't like that was a world-renowned breakout character. So there's just some effort. And which Shuri are we getting is kind of the other piece. So last bit of news to really go into in terms of some things that are happening in comics right now is that, and this is kind of more of a speculative one, is that we're seeing now with kind of Marvel reversing course on digital, DC leaning in. The Harley Quinn Red, White, and Black series is doing very well for digital, and we're seeing a bunch of not patents, trademarks being applied for, and that definitely point to a big expansion of digital in 2021. And there's at least some off the record word from you have to go to Twitter and look at the tweets of some of the editors and things, kind of read between the lines a little bit. But it definitely looks like people are gearing up to do more digital, and it looks like the thought process is established of, hey, maybe some of these these B characters, C characters we're struggling to find an audience for, we should go digital first and try and just get some momentum there before we bring them to print. And maybe that's smart. It's like, it seems like common sense to me. But there's a lot of, I think over the next couple months, we're going to be talking about how the companies are handling digital. It does seem like DC and Marvel are both kind of staking out separate paths. So we'll see kind of who really is able to kind of make some progress there. So otherwise, I expect next week to be a pretty big week. We're going to get some more information on some of the comics that Marvel's doing, how some of these events are going to roll out. We're expected to get some Null news and some more Ten of Swords news. We're also expected to hear a little bit more about Death Metal and some of the things that are coming out of it. I guess there's one more piece of news. I'll cram it right here at the end. 5G. We still are hearing, I'm still hearing consistently, and I think there's some proof to it, that we will see evidence of the plans for 5G coming out, but it looks like even that imprint of generation 1, 2, 3, and 5, etc., is being buried. It looks like those stories are going to kind of be folded in as independent storylines, and the idea of it as a marketing initiative seems to be put to rest for now and possibly forever. So I think the stories are not going to go away, but this idea of an imprint definitely does seem like it's come to an end. So we'll still get a bit of it, not as much, not anywhere close to as much as we were, and now even the marketing behind it seems to be deprioritized. So that's the news we have. Do you have any questions? Leave comments below. Like, subscribe, notifications if you like it. I'm going to do more live chat, so it was a lot of fun last night when we did that. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Comic Perch, or send me an email at gmail at comics with an S, Perch at Gmail. There you go. I think I got everything. Thanks for listening, and have a great weekend, everybody.